Welcome back to the Museum of Aquarium and Pet History. Okay, so not to forget my birdcage people that I adore so much, this is a Maxwell or Maxheimer bird cage. And I say that because he changed his name, believe it or not. He's one of the oldest American birdcage companies, or I should say one of the oldest single just bird cages only companies that started in the U.S. He started in 1849 as John Maxheimer out of Brooklyn, New York. And in about 1883, he changed his company name and his personal name to John Maxwell. Have no idea why. Have a theory, but not positive. So this cage came in from a collector. Believe it or not, it was a pet shop owner who had a couple stores. He retired. He had this birdcage collection. Wanted to know if I was interested. I said, sure. Some of them were Hendrix cages, and they were fairly common Hendrix cages. But there was this cage, which I know is a sparrow cage or mockingbird cage, and it was brass. So I'm like, okay, this is a pretty nice cage. So this might be something interesting. And when I saw it, I saw the little stamped tin closures here, and I thought, well, that's got to be Osborne, because Osborne did this. And then it came in, and it had the little tag. It's kind of ripped up, and it said, let's see if it's Maxwell or Maxheimer. It says, oh, wait a minute. This isn't Maxheimer. This is Gunther. Gulab Gunther. Oh, my bad. Okay, so anyways, this is actually rarer than Maxheimer. This is a Gulab Gunther cage. So, okay, I can't believe I did that. But some of these old cages, they're very similar. And this, I just have to tell you one quick thing. These didn't work when we got it. So I took it to Rick. And Rick first tried to polish it because it was black. And it was difficult to polish because he said that it's just not coming out. So he polished it the best that he could. And then on these here, he could only get springs that were silver. And I said, that's not going to work for me. I want brass springs. So he went to a spring company, asked them what it would cost to custom make 2 brass springs. They came back with a $1,200 price tag. Nope, that's not going to work either. So Rick lost sleep on it. And the next day, he made the springs himself. Who does that? So Rick actually made the brass springs to work for this Gulab Gunther cage, which is spectacular. But before I finish there, I do have a Maxwell cage. So I won't leave you stranded for any of you guys out there that love Maxwell as well. All right. So again, very old, made in Brooklyn, New York in the late 1800s, because I don't think they made it to the 1900s, truthfully. You could see the triple bends on the wire, and it says Maxwell. So this was his second reincarnation when he changed his company from Maxheimer to Maxwell. And let's see. Oh, it goes like this. All right, so that just... All right, so there you go. Maxwell. Gulab. Very old cages from the 1800s from 2 companies that never made it and were not absorbed by Hendrix. Okay, so another thing about Maxwell bird cages, here is one of the catalogs that's in the museum library. Has a gold bird cage on the outside. Calls it the John Maxwell and Son Inc. out of Brooklyn, New York. It's on 52 and 54 Sand Street. If you happen to live in Brooklyn and you're near Sand Street, you can go check out those two buildings, and that was the old Maxwell Birdcage Company. But what's really cool about this, and Meredith will put pictures up, they were really known for some odd, innovative cages. Like they made a brass castle cage that the top looked like a castle. They made a cozy corner cage where it looks like the cage was inverted at the bottom. They made a brass bathhouse cage where it had 2 baths for the birds to actually play in on each side of the cage. I mean, these are very innovative stuff that I never saw from other companies. They also made this hexagon brass den cage, which was amazing. It had this plastic type of material, I can't remember what they call that, but it was at the tops of the cages, and no one's ever done that before. They also had an enameled beehive cage, which was very cool. And of course, they had a robin and mockingbird cage, which was not as elaborate as the one from Gulab Gunther. Theirs was more wood and wire instead of metal and brass. But they did have a parrot cage that was very innovative. What they did is they put the perch on top of the cage. So not only can you carry the parrot cage from the perch, which is a lot easier to carry, but the parrot, you could take him out of the cage and stick him on top of the cage. So that was Maxwell, a really innovative company. And, well, what can I say? I like them. Thank you guys, and I will see you again next week.